But the answer's not found in some sort of to-do list fashion. Because I expect when we hear sermons that confront us and reveal things about us, we generally go home and think, right, what must I do? So we get a pen out, we sit there prayerfully with our Bible open in the afternoon, and in our quiet time, which has now become extended because of our unabated guilt of heart, we now sit and think, Lord, what must I do? And so we start writing a list, and we go, well, I need to read my Bible double what I already am. So I'm going to read through it in 5 years rather than 10, and all these sort of things. And my prayer life needs to be deeper. I just need to turn up more regularly to the prayer meeting. Lord, if I do these things, that will solve me. And maybe what I need to do, maybe I just need to kind of learn those ancient sayings that reminded me of the truth of who you are. So I'm going to go learn maybe a catechism or two and try and understand some biblical truth, and that will hopefully free me from that. But friends, that is not what we're called to do in the gospel. I'm not saying those things are wrong, but they're not the way we're going to keep ourselves in Christ. Not a to-do list. To-do lists fail. New Year's resolutions prove this. But I'm talking about that real heartfelt desire to endure. To not just kind of like scramble on our knees, but to say, God, I want to serve you with all of my heart and with resplendent joy. God, I want to be someone who enjoys you, delights in you. As the song from the 90s goes, I want to be like a child who dances in your presence. I want to feel the joy of heaven fall down on me. I want to remember the first day I met you, Lord, and I never want to lose that. That's the cry of the heart of a Christian who wants to answer that question. And there is some key things of which not only will stop you from falling away, but will focus you in the middle of hardships to walk with God. And as we do these things, there might be multiple motivations in our hearts, but I think as we try and answer this question about what must I do in order to walk with joy and delight before the Lord, and in light of last week, how must I make sure I endure to the end? We're trying to ask questions about how we gain a sense, because it's more than just a thought, but a sense of that eternal security about your salvation as a Christian. How do I know that I know that I know that I'm saved? That when I die, up in heaven I will awake. That if, as I put my head on my pillow tonight, if I die before I wake, up in heaven, I will enjoy Christ. Friends, that question plagues the souls of a lot of Christians. I really think it does. And this morning we're trying to answer that. I think as a result, when that becomes deeper in our lives, when that surety comes, which is what our pastor's leading us into this morning, there is a joy and a happiness in God, a freedom from dead works driven by an insecurity about your soul. It takes you from doing because you're afraid to doing because you're in utter delight in God. And there's a world of difference between those two things. The task is the same, the heart is different, and the result to our souls is exponential. And so this advice from this pastor is laden with wisdom, but it does require action, personal responsibility, desire, and discipline. Just like if you want to get fit and healthy, you need to listen to the advice from your trainer. You ain't just going to sit there on the sofa and tell yourself 1,000 times a day, I want to be fit and healthy, and do nothing about it. You don't exercise, you don't change your diet, nothing is going to change. You can't just sit there and eat junk food and go, but I drink Diet Coke, it says diet on it, so I'm on a diet until life is blessed. Nothing is going to change. I had a friend whose dad was like that. I'll tell this story, it's great. And he's a builder from London, old boy, larger than yours truly. And his blood pressure and cholesterol was similar to mine, high. And so he went to go see the doctor. And the doctor said to him, he said, look, the problem is, like, it has to be down to what you're eating. So tell me what you're eating. And so he'd have a Chinese on a Monday, chicken on a Tuesday, Whopper on a Wednesday, like fry up on a Friday. His diet was shocking. And the doctor says, like, do you eat salad or vegetables? He's like, no. He goes, you need to start eating salad. You need to have salad. And so he went out of the doctor's office. He says, come and see me in 6 weeks. He comes back 6 weeks later, and his blood pressure's higher, his cholesterol's gone up, and he's put on 2 stone. And he says to the doctor, he goes, I just don't understand what's happening with me. He's like, well, did you do what I said? He says, yeah, of course I did. I had salad with my Chinese, salad with my fry-up, salad with my Whopper. I did everything you said, doctor. And he's like, that's not quite what I meant. I think we think like that as Christians sometimes. I'll add a little bit of goodness with everything else, and hopefully everything will sort itself out. No real action.